guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mads and today I have my April reading wrap up for you guys. I read 11 books in the month of April. 4 of them were romance books, 5 were romantasy, and 2 were thriller. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off strong, we have Saving 6 by Chloe Walsh, which is the 3rd book in the Binding 13 series. We have a lot of annotations, and no, the video is not out yet, but I actually filmed a reading vlog for this one, so if you want to watch that, definitely subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I post. It is in a video of me finishing series I'm in the middle of, and there is a lot of tears in this one, like a lot. However, despite the amount of tears, I ended up rating this 3.5, which some might think is a little bit of a harsh rating for this book. For me personally, when it comes to this book, first let's just talk about the romance with Aoife and Joey. It is a different type of romance that I usually am not drawn to. With Shannon and Johnny, I loved their romance. It was perfection in my eyes, and it was very soft and tender and loving. I love soft romances. How they talk to each other in this, I would cry. If Joey talked to me that way, I would literally bawl my eyes out. Those two are firecrackers, and I know a lot of people like that and like very strong banter, quick-witted. This book and this relationship is for the people who make fun of someone to flirt with them. That's not me. I would literally cry. I am such a softie. I am so sensitive, so that's why for me, like, the romance just didn't really hit. I found that I wasn't really connected to it. I loved it at the beginning, but as they were going on, I was like, ugh, I just wasn't swooning for it. I wasn't rooting for it because I didn't like it. I also felt kind of sad that there wasn't as much of Joey's family in this, like Tig, Ollie, Sean. I really miss reading about them, but I do understand why Chloe didn't write as much of them in this one, because then Shannon would have to be there, and I do think she was trying to show that this is Johnny's book, this is not Shannon's book, and I think she did that really well. My other thing with this is that my red flag is that I don't check trigger warnings, and I went into this mentally prepared for the abuse that was in this book. I, however, was not mentally prepared for the addiction side that was in this. I don't know how, I don't know why. I completely forgot about Joey's addiction, and this is very, very, very confronting. For those of you that don't know, I'm actually 5 years sober of no alcohol. This was a book that I really needed to read the trigger warnings on. I found it very confronting for myself. While I was not a drug addict, I find that with all addictions, the feelings are actually quite very much similar, and the reason why people are addicted to things and the feelings underlining, like voids and everything, is usually quite similar. So it was very triggering for me and very confronting, and I just really wasn't mentally ready for it. The other thing is, it just was very long, and while I loved that with Binding and Keeping 13, I loved it because I loved Shannon and Johnny, whereas with this one, as a romance book, I did not enjoy it. Reading it for the individual characters and their story, loved it. I dare say though, by other reviews, I will love their romance in Redeeming 6. Next up, we have Magnolia Parks, which I did a reading vlog in the same one of Saving 6. Yes, I gave myself a lot of emotional trauma in 1 week. Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I ended up rating her 4 stars. This is the best book I've ever read that has wrapped up a series. For those of you that don't know, this is the last book that follows Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne in the Magnolia Parks universe. Everything was wrapped up. There was closure to everything. People, past situations that I even forgot about. It was very much tied up in a very neat bow, and I finished this feeling so much closure, so much love and warmth in my heart. I didn't have any questions. I think that that's what you really need for the end of a series, and I'm just so grateful that we got that. The reason why it's not 5 stars for me is the reading experience, and this probably is on me. I struggled to get into it at the beginning. I just found myself not wanting to pick it up. Maybe that was because I literally read Saving 6, was emotionally destroyed, and then immediately picked up this book, and this is a lot of emotions. But then, like, when I picked up, I was crying, and I just think I couldn't handle it. I think I just had to bump it down because I kept putting it off. With that being said, I don't think it was a book thing, but this was big. This was very long, and I do actually think that there is some things in there that just didn't necessarily need to be in there. But overall, I really loved it. After about 50%, I could not put it down. I found myself reaching for it, thinking about it all the time, and I think it is the absolute perfect wrap up to Magnolia and BJ's story. Next up, we have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I love this book. Let's just get this out of the way. This is 6 stars. This is infinity stars. I would not change a single thing in this book, and if someone told me earlier that it was fake dating Grey's Anatomy vibes, I would have picked this up the second it was released. I don't know why no one's talking about it in that regard, because this is great. And I would just like to preface this by saying, if you guys watch my videos, you know I hate miscommunication trope, like with passion. Won't pick up a book with it. This has miscommunication trope and I will not change a thing. It is infinity stars. Perfection. That is how well it is done. It was more so miscommunication trope in the sense of, yes, it invoked anxiety in me. It didn't last on the anxiety, but it didn't invoke like wanting to throttle them and be like, can you just talk? It was more like, oh my god, that's so sad. I just felt so emotionally connected to the characters and I was like, oh my god, that's so gut-wrenching, instead of, can you please go and speak to this person like an adult. But there's literally nothing that I would change about this. I'm hoping that the miscommunication trope doesn't throw people off, because like I truly mean it. When I say I hate miscommunication trope, I hate it with passion. I have never ever liked a miscommunication book. Tell me why this is perfection. Also, it has the best anxiety rep I have read in a very, very long time. Abby Jimenez's writing is fast-paced, fun, witty, emotionally driven, and it just gives that little something extra to a romance book. Next up, we have a new release, and that is the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. This was actually super slow for a Holly Jackson book, I have to admit. I was kind of reading it going, what the hell? If it wasn't written by Holly Jackson and I hadn't read something that the author had written before, I would have DNF'd. But knowing that it was Holly Jackson, I was going, no, like just stick it out, the plot's gonna get better. It wasn't until about 60-70% that I was like, okay, here's a Holly Jackson book. Besides that, it was actually very slow. The main character, I found her quite literally insufferable. Literally insufferable for the first 50 to 60%, because I personally just think how she was reacting to situations, I was like, no normal person would react like that, and it just infuriated me. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, and I think for Holly Jackson I just had very high expectations. Next up, we have Reckless by Elsie Silver, which is the 4th book in the Chestnut Spring series. I have been loving the Chestnut Spring series and my journey with the Chestnut Springs family. Best found family interconnected series I've read in a very long time. Since The Deal by Elle Kennedy, I have not felt this way, and I love this universe with my entire heart and soul. The tropes in this is age gap romance and the pregnancy trope, and I hate the pregnancy trope. Like, I really hate it, but I actually love how it was done in this book. Like, truly love how it was done. I ended up rating it 4 stars, I think only because I loved the book. Once it got past 50 pages, I couldn't put it down. My thing and why it got bumped from 5 to 4 stars is that I think everything that happened after 85%, except for one thing that was like at the 99% mark, was kind of redundant. Didn't need to happen. It was kind of like, okay, you're just throwing a spanner in for the sake of throwing a spanner in. I feel like it should have ended at the 85% mark with that one little thing. Brief pause in the video. No, I did not read these books this month. But for those of you that don't know, my name's Mads, and I actually wrote a series. This is the first book, Airbroken Fate, and the second book, Airbroken Kingdom, just came out this month, and people are absolutely loving it. If you want these stunning, beautiful covers on your shelf, you can get her off of Amazon. But this series is on Kindle Unlimited, and for those of you that don't know, Airbroken Fate follows Princess Delilah, who runs to the Fae to ask for help to free her oppressed people, only to find out that the Fae need her help more, and she needs to save not only the entire Fae race, but magic itself. It has dragons, griffins, enemies to lovers, slow burn, who did this to you, one bed trope. It truly has everything you want and need in a romancy, and I'm bringing her up because obviously the second book just got released, but I have very exciting news, and that is that this weekend on the 4th of May, 3rd of May for the US people, Airbroken Fate special edition pre-order is going live, and you guys can order a copy this Saturday on the 4th of May. Again, if you are American, it will be the 3rd of May, and it is stunning. Look at Nox and Delilah, absolutely beautiful. The sprayed edges are magnificent, and if you guys want to snag a copy, and I truly mean snag a copy because they are going to go very quickly, the wait list is filling up very fast, and there is limited stock, so you have to snag one while you can. You can go to the waitlist at bookbox.au and sign up, because you guys will get access first. And has reversible dust jackets. And I have been getting comments. I just want to say it is very affordable for international shipping. For US, I do believe it is $54 and $20 for shipping. That is US. Australian, it is free shipping, $89. For UK, I do believe it's €45 plus $20 shipping. Very affordable. You guys can also purchase a signed copy. There's only going to be 100 signed copies, so make sure you snag them. Now we have my favorite romantasy read of the year, and I will be very surprised if this gets topped soon. Maybe it will. I mean, we're not even halfway through the year, but as of right now, this is my favorite romantasy read of the year. Actually, in a very long time, I haven't felt this way, and I love this book, and I'm not even kidding. I know that people don't do this, but I'm giving it a 5.75. So close to being 6 stars, so close to being perfect, and that book is The Crimson Moth. I adored this book. Look at all the annotations. Stunning, beautiful, amazing. The hunted had fallen for the hunter. It is witches, enemies to lovers, fake dating. Now, I know what you're thinking. Fake dating? How the hell did they pull a fake dating in fantasy? I don't know why my mind thought that it couldn't be done. It was done, and it was done so well. I love this. It is a witch and a witch hunter. I want every single person to read this book. Literally every single person. I loved it so much. It was balanced beautifully with fantasy and romance. There was no info dumping. The world building was immaculate. I think that it was done very well. The reason why it's 5.75 instead of 6 stars, there was literally just one scene that I found very predictable, and I was like, oh, okay. Every time something happened, I was like, well, yeah, of course that's gonna happen. And then it took me about like 20-50 pages to get back into that 5-star feeling. It really didn't take me long though. So good. I wish every single person would read this. Literally every single person. I don't think I could rave about this enough. And the dedication is for those afraid to be who they are. Now, I know that I have a few US people here. This is the UK name and the UK cover. For the US, it is different. It's called Heartless Hunter, and it has a different cover. I do believe this is because there is different publishing houses in the UK and the US. The author outdid herself. This is truly impeccable, and I wish every single person could read it. I finished it in 2 days. It's such a fast-paced, fun read. Please, I beg you, please go read this book. Next up, we have The Obsession, which I actually rated 4 stars. Now, looking back at it, honestly, I think it's like a 3.5. For the category that it's in, for being a YA book, it is 4 stars. This is definitely written like a YA book. It's actually rated so high because I, A, couldn't put it down, B, was so baffled, and every time I was reading, I was like, I actually was flabbergasted in what I was reading. So boy meets girl, boy stalks girl, that's it. I was shocked reading this, really shocked, disturbed. I don't really have much more to say on it other than that. Then we've got Raelia, which is the second book in the Akane series. Akane gives Narnia meets Harry Potter vibes, and I loved this book so much. I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. I really liked it. The romance is also starting to brew too. Don't get me wrong, this is just a YA fantasy series, but the romance is starting to brew, and I know it's going to come in the next book, and I love this one because it was fast paced. Also, I actually prefer to listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is incredible. The narrator is absolutely amazing and insanely talented, and I love her so much. It really immersed me in the story. The reason why it's 4.5 though is that because something at the ending I just kind of found predictable. One part of it was predictable, and it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I knew that that was coming, so I wasn't as shocked when I read it. Other than that, I absolutely love this book, and I'm currently reading the 3rd book, and I am seriously devouring it. Then we have the Vampire Academy series, and I read 3 of the books this month. I read the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, and Blood Promise. Surprisingly, the ratings actually went down as I read. Kind of disappointing. It started at the 2nd book, 4.5, then went to 4 stars for the 3rd, then 3.5 for the 4th. I literally am reading these like they're M&Ms. I love this series so much. The reason why it's not 5 stars though is that the first 30% I loved and the last 30% I loved, but that middle 40% felt like it was socially driven. It felt like it kind of dropped the plot a little bit and focused more on social aspects in the high school, and I actually just loved the plot so much that I was like, okay, can we just like get back to this? So the middle didn't really love that much. Beginning and end I adored. The 3rd book I rated 4 stars because it actually felt like there was no main plot. It was actually teeny tiny little plots everywhere. So it kind of did feel like a little bit of a filler book. It was actually to lead up to the 4th book, which I understand now. But just this book as a whole, there was all these teeny tiny little plots everywhere instead of one main plot storyline, which I didn't like because it felt like it was just all over the place and it was like, okay, what's happening? But I love the world and I love the characters so much. And the ending, if you guys have read this, you know. I cried and I was listening to it in the car with my boyfriend and I started crying. Literally crying. That then goes on to this book. I was surprised that I rated this lower. This is 3.5 stars. The reason being is that the first 60% was so slow. So freaking slow. Although it did give closure in a sense, it was slow. The last 40%, however, magnificent. Literally magnificent. Perfect. The plot twist at the end, didn't see coming. It was beautiful. Just needed that first 60% to not be as slow. Also, this is a romantasy, guys, and if you love vampires, the Vampire Academy series is one of the OGs, and I urge everyone to read it. And that is it. That is my April reading wrap up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you like it. I can't wait to see what you guys thought, and thank you so much for watching. Mwah! See you next time.